Mm, mm, mm. I heard that these haters keep hating, and you might need to do another video, Lance. So, boom, that's what I did. This is part three of the doTERRA versus Young Living Hater series. It's becoming a series that almost sounds really interesting, but I'm going to cover some more details. So stay tuned and don't go anywhere. Hey, this is Lance McGowan with Essential Oils Me. All kidding aside, it's important that we validate the opinion, the statements, the claims, whatever they may be, of other people, and really try to seek understanding before we seek to be understood. But then also, try to look at things from both sides of the table. And there may even be a third side of the table that I believe we should also look at. But anyways, you're probably like, no, tables usually just have two sides, top and bottom. So what's going on? Anyways, I'm gonna cover more of that in the next section. Not the table part, but you know what I'm saying.
Hey, this is Lance McGowan with Essential Oils Me, and today we're going to cover part three of the doTERRA versus Young Living Haters series that I got going on. And so, as I get more haterish comments or deconstructive comments, let's just call it that, because hater just sounds so, that's a strong word. But, anyways, as I get more comments, love your comments. It actually helps me create content like this. But we're just going to cover that today on one of the comments that I received from an individual. And one of the things they mentioned, three different things, but one of the things they mentioned was, when I look at the website specifically for frankincense on doTERRA's website, the individual statements was the FDA does not approve any of doTERRA's products. Have a look at the very bottom right of this page as an example, and you will see the statement. Mm, mm, mm. I'll snap my fingers, you can't see that. But anyways, the statement actually says these statements have not been evaluated by the Food Drug Administration, the FDA, and this product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. And so what they're saying is, hey Lance, you say that doTERRA is approved for internal use by the FDA, and really the FDA has essential oils listed on their generally regarded as or generally recognized as safe, the GRAS standard, and that is actually you can check that website to see the essential oils that are approved for that, and that's where doTERRA gets their ability to say that they are approved for internal use. So the GRAS standard is approved by the FDA, and the oils are on that GRAS website, GRAS. And with regards to this comment, it's specifically the primary benefits supports healthy cellular function, and that has an asterisk, and that relates to that particular statement. And so with regards to what hasn't been approved by the FDA is that particular primary benefit statement. And so the individual statement isn't fully correct, and I think they're looking at the incorrect thing. So they were more focusing on the internal use, or maybe even in general that the oils haven't been approved, but it's kind of taken out of context without having all the information. And so that comment has been debunked. All right, next one is from the same individual. And so they said that CPTG is a phrase that doTERRA coined as a very clear marketing tool. Essentials are not graded, I think that was meant to be essential oils, are not graded, never have been. All right, so basically there's lots of quality grades of essential oils. The most prevalent out there is synthetic, and then the next most prevalent is food grade, and then therapeutic, and then finally CPTG with doTERRA. And so synthetic is more toxic, so it's the most out there, but it's the most toxic as well, so that's not good. And so doTERRA didn't create the CPTG as a marketing term. It's actually a quality standard that goes above and beyond because the industry of essential oils is not regulated. If it was regulated, that also may not be a good thing either. You look at the financial industry, which is highly regulated. You look at the housing industry, which is highly regulated. It almost put handcuffs on people for certain things and not allowing them to kind of do things. But even just because the essential oil industry isn't regulated doesn't mean it doesn't follow any rules. They still have to follow rules on what they make with regards to claims and stuff like that, and so we have to be compliant with regards to that. But to the CPTG oil standard, it's not designed to be a marketing tool, it's designed to be an educational tool on the quality that doTERRA offers, and it's a key differentiator with regards to the other types of quality out there. So there has to be a way for doTERRA to educate people on how their quality is different than therapeutic, food, and synthetic. And so it wouldn't just be called doTERRA quality, although it could be. And so instead they actually have a process, which I'll include probably in the link to the description on this video, on basically all the ways that they test their oils. And so because of that testing process is such a rigorous process to ensure quality and consistent results, they basically trademarked that process and called it CPTG. And so the individual is right in the sense that essential oils aren't, it's not regulated, or it's maybe, I guess what the heart of the comment is, like, hey, they're just using that to, for marketing reasons, but it's more education reasons, I would say, and what creates a competitive advantage and really a value proposition for consumers to help them know what makes doTERRA different or better than the others. So that one's debunked. Boom. And the final comment that I got was from the same individual. So they're hitting me all up. And this isn't what the individual looks like. I protected her identity with just a woman that I Googled on YouTube. But anyways, because you're probably like, you just put her on blast, Lance. No, I didn't. Okay. So the individual stated, I've included links to 3 websites with information backing up my statement. They are good. They are a good read. And you may want to rethink what you put on your video. Snap them fingers. But anyways, that is very interesting, and that is actually part of one of my other hater videos that I covered, part 1 and part 2. And actually I think it was part 1 where I covered confirmation bias. This is a clear example of that, where basically confirmation bias is where we basically seek out websites, blogs, people, resources that confirm or affirm or verify our own position. And so it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy, basically. If you want something to be true enough, and there's going to always be information to support your viewpoint, and there's always, if you want to believe the opposite, you're always going to find that way. And so this is almost like it feels like an effort to basically be right. And for me, I'm not about, this is not a tennis match. This is not the Wimbledon. This is not an NBA game. This is about helping people improve their health. And yes, there are facts, but there's also interpretation of facts. There's also half truths, or facts that, may not be fully researched and things like that. And there's also a lot of things where even if you have the facts, it may not be completely 100% accurate either. So I covered that in my first 2 videos, and really this video is kind of just talking more specifically about one person said. But yeah, I mean, very valid comments, I would say. I don't want to invalidate them, but at the same time, I only believe that they are a part of the story. They're not the whole picture. And the main point that I'll make after reading all this is, when you don't have all the facts, if you don't have accurate facts, or if you misinterpret the facts, then you're always going to come to an inaccurate conclusion. And so these statements are more conclusions that I believe aren't fully accurate because of those said reasons. All right, so the next steps are to click the links in the description to learn more about haters, or maybe how to not become a hater, or become less of a hater, or maybe tell me why haters should not be used, and maybe I should call this deconstructive criticizers.
There were some interesting points brought up by this individual. Anyways, that is really some interesting points. There's stuff that I've heard before, and for me, it's just kind of like, it's about 3 things. Number 1, having all the facts, which is difficult because you may only get one side. Number 2 is having accurate facts. And then number 3 is the interpretation of having both of those. And so when you have all 3, then you're in the best position for coming to an accurate conclusion. Otherwise, I feel like the best thing that you could say, if one of those or more than one of those are missing, is, you know what, I don't have all the information and I'm not able to come to an accurate conclusion, but based on what information I do have, here's the conclusion I've come to. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm open to other information. I think that openness is really key, and that goes for me as well. You know, if there is publicly available information that falls under the first two categories, because interpretation is left up to the individual with regards to, you know, having all the information and having accurate information. But yeah, so that's going to be really key, and I believe that's how every person, whether they're a hater or somebody that's been hated on, should look at the statements and comments of others and really understand what biases are going on. And I feel like this video builds on so much of the first two hater videos that I created. Hater is such a strong word. Deconstructive criticizer sounds really long, and it's just kind of harder to say, so we'll just stick with haters. But anyways, I guess I say that because it's interesting, because if you are a hater, you probably don't consider yourself a hater. It's how it's interpreted by the individual who's receiving it. Anyways, to the person who's giving the hate, they're probably like, I'm telling it like it is, or I'm giving my opinion, or I'm telling you the truth, or I'm giving you the facts, or whatever they say. Or, I mean, I've been a hater too, so I'm not, you know, outside of that circle. But anyways, at least I try to acknowledge the obvious. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Anyways, that concludes today's video, and it was a slight rant, I think, towards the back end of that. But if you're interested in learning more, make sure to click one of the links in the description box below, or click the subscribe button so you can catch more video updates and maybe some more hater videos. We'll see if I can hear some other ones that I've never addressed before in the past, then I might create some more. Or maybe just other videos that cover the companies. You know what I'm saying?